Four elements symbolize
the mystery teachings of Dionysus and Bacchus. All the mythology stories of Dionysus, it's like just regurgitating this like one like story that portrays him in a certain like drunk bad light. But Dionysus, that's where the mystery schools were. Check this.
By his dismembered body and placed in the ether. The heart of Bacchus is the immortal center. Was lifted.
Oh, this is so good too. Fucking the heart of man. So you were ripped apart and thrown into density, but your immortal heart was taken and placed in the ether. You need to restart your heart on the etheric level. You gotta take the sun breath. Crazy shit.
Out of the four elements symbolized by his dismembered body and placed in the ether. The heart of Bacchus is the immortal center of the rational soul. After the rational soul had been distributed throughout creation and the nature of man, the Bacchic mysteries were instituted for the purpose of disentangling it from the irrational titanic nature. This disentanglement was the process of lifting the soul out of the state of separateness into that of unity. The various parts and members of Bacchus were
lifting the soul out of separateness into unity, aka breathing as the Tao, aka, rising into the order of Melchizedek, aka reaching the sun state, becoming one with the light, balance the poles, right, and blend thyself with the great essence. That would be Thoth. Hermes would tell you the operation of the sun is when it rises and then falls, combining both the powers of the above and below. That's the pattern. Crazy shit. But yeah. Whoa.
collected from the different corners of the earth. When all the rational parts are gathered, Bacchus is resurrected. The rites of Dionysus were very similar to those of Bacchus, and by many.
When you come to see the world, you will find a carcass or a shell. And then you will enter the kingdom. Some shit like that. Christ's teachings. Gospel of Thomas. Right there it just said, we enter the irrational world, the Maya, the illusion, right? To recognize that it is the irrational world, and then be motivated by it to gather our rational parts, aka like your inner child, the soul you lost, what's real, what's true, the authentic version of you, and gather those parts, right? And then repent. Repent meaning remember, remember those lost parts of you, the irrational parts of you, right? And yeah, and let go of the irrational. Let's repent. And then bang, Bacchus or Dionysus is resurrected, which is the soul of man, and your heart starts beating. And you enter the sun state. Crazy shit. Here we go.
These two gods are considered as one. Statues of Dionysus were carried in the Eleusinian mysteries, especially the lesser degrees. Bacchus, representing the soul of the mundane sphere, was capable of an infinite multiplicity of form and designations. Dionysus apparently was his solar aspect. The Dionysian architects constituted an ancient secret society in principles and doctrines, much like the modern Freemasonic order. They were an organization of builders bound together by their secret knowledge of the relationship between the earthly and the divine sciences of architectonics. They were supposedly employed by King Solomon in the building of his temple, although they were not Jews, nor did they worship the god of the Jews, being followers of Bacchus and Dionysus. The Dionysiac architects erected many of the great monuments of antiquity. They possessed a secret language and a system of marking their stones. They had annual convocations and sacred feasts. The exact nature of their doctrines is unknown. It is believed that Hiram Abiff was an initiate of this society.
Atlantis and the Gods of Antiquity.